listening to that stuff, but it must have been a daunting task to take all that and then to try and figure out how to make a movie out of it. Can the two of you explain a little bit about the process of just starting out and how you kind of dwindled it down into the film that we all see today?
I don't think we're done dwindling it down, are we?
I mean, I'm still
There's
taking
always
stuff
more
off the
dwindling.
walls. There's still
You know,
stuff.
in the quickest way to tell the story is that in one of the early meetings with Gail, she'd responded very well to the pitch and then said, look, in order to tell the story the way you have in mind, you're going to need access to the vault. Because what we wanted to do was tell this very expansive story about him that was not just about his music and his musical journey. And but the vault is vast and has an enormous amount of media, most of which the family had been working with for over 20 years since Frank's death. But they were obviously concerned primarily with music and the commercially viable media that was down there. So we had to do a preservation mission first before we could actually utilize any of the media in the vault. And so we spent 2 years, we did a crowdfunding campaign, and we spent 2 years preserving that media that needed to be preserved. There was a bunch that we had access to that didn't, and we were just starting to digitize that, and we were all starting to look at it. So it's a very long story because it took years to do all of this, and it was extremely complicated. The short version is that it benefited Mike and myself in a number of ways. The most obvious being that it was so much media, it's almost impossible to watch all of that. When you're doing preservation work, you just have by nature more of a reason to be in the material all the time. And it began to give us a very good sense of what was there. It was a very big team. It was not just Mike and myself. It was Mike and myself and my